Hey crew, I've got the key to this, oh hi mobile mama, how are you? To this 26 Mercedes-AMG E53 Wagon. And this week we're gonna see what it's like to live with. Starting with the spacing in my driveway, which is 16 feet wide by 19.5 feet long. I've got the wagon parked about 1.5 inches from the edge, sitting next to Mobile Mama's Toyota Sienna Woodland Edition. The dancing is standard. It's a standard feature of this vehicle. If you want to follow her content, by the way, it's at Mobile Mama on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. She usually parks with a bit more care than in this situation. She's hanging off the back a bit, and the tires are around 7 inches in from the edge. So with that spacing, when the doors aren't all open, you can easily walk between the vehicles. The power folding door mirrors of the wagon do help. Let me fold those in. There we go. And when the Sienna is a little further over, there is enough room to fit a double wide stroller for kiddos. The front end of the car is hovering over the gutter, and I do have these curb ramps here for clearance, but it's not so low that that's really necessary. And at the back, there's still enough room to walk in front of the hedge on the path to my front door. When first getting in with the key fob on me, I can press on the retracted door handles to make those pop out. Opening up that door now. That's the first defined notch right there. And I could squeeze into the cabin, but if I have the room, as I think I do, yes, I'm gonna give myself a better access point. Leg in on the seat, ducking head underneath thicker pillar, and closing up that door. Good. Oh, some very dramatic music to welcome me to the cabin. Good solid thud to that door close too. Hey cabin crew, thanks for joining for this day in the life in the 26 E53 Wagon. In this video, I want to see what it's like to live with the now plug-in hybrid AMG wagon. So let's fire it up. By which I mean, let's begin in EV mode. Because I do have charge in the battery, maybe 85–90% of it. It's giving me a range estimate of 43 miles, which might be optimistic considering the EPA's estimate at a full charge is 41 miles, but we'll see how that holds up. And I'll show you that obviously the vehicle is going to be silent when you first start your day. So if you've got an early morning commute, you're not going to disturb any of your neighbors. By the way, I can top it up over here from a level 2, as I have, or a DC fast charger, which is almost overkill because you only need a couple hours from a level 2 to fully replenish that battery or recharge it while driving. Before we hit the road, I want to show you where I'd put the items I bring with me every day. Like my iPhone, which is sitting on this hidden wireless charging pad that has just a little room around it for a larger phone. I've got my sunglasses in here on a grippy pad so they don't move around and scratch up the lenses. Inside this console, I've stuffed my Ray-Ban Meta sunglass case, slimline wallet, Racebox 0 to 60 timer, and an additional suction mount. In the door pocket, I did wedge in my 32-ounce metal water bottle and a couple snacks underneath that. So I think the storage space inside the E53 is going to be great for anything you want to bring with you. Now, after putting on my seatbelts, I can pull the gear selector down into drive. That will automatically release the parking brake. And as I roll on forward here, let me just bring up the front-facing camera system. Not the 3D view, I want the 2D view with the wide angle. That helps as I eventually get just beyond the Sienna's back end before I turn the wheel and hopefully clear, yes, my neighbor's basketball hoops on my way out. As my day begins, I'm just chilling in the EV mode. No loud, rumbling V8 to disturb me like in the E63 Wagon. And it'll stay in EV mode as long as there is charge in the battery, or if I go too deep into the accelerator, then it will trigger on the turbo inline 6-cylinder. And if it were hot outside, I could have my seat ventilation going. If it were cold, I could have my seat heating going. I do wish it had different stages though to turn down the temperature because it does get kind of hot. The only thing that could make this a better ambiance, a better morning experience would be massage, which we have equipped as an option with the Multicontour seats. So you have these selections here, choose one, and then whether you want intense or not, you always want intense, then hit play to begin. Oh, there's the vibration. It's very exciting. And it is a good massage. The only thing I don't like about it is that it times out after a while. Why would I ever want the massage to time out? Do people go into massage parlors and say, no, stop at 60 minutes, please? No, you have to pay for more time. We also need to evaluate seemingly trivial matters, like the turn signal sound, which is a light tapping noise. I actually kind of like it. Now turning radius, with the wheel fully cranked, is quite good. Now, what if someone was driving recklessly on the road and I needed to honk at them, let them know how I feel? What are they gonna hear? It's polite, but assertive. Good horn. It's a horse crossing the street. Don't see that every day. As far as the driving experience, when you're in the EV mode, it's just like any other EV. You get that instant response from the electric motor to pick you up to speed. And when you are in this mode, it's like having the comfort setting of the adaptive dampers. They're adaptive air springs, and the ride compliance, even on these 21-inch wheels, is fantastic. It smoothens the worst of road imperfections and undulations. The only thing that does make its way into the cabin are the bigger impacts heard as a thud. So that could be improved, but on the whole, this is a very pleasant ride. And these seats with all their different adjustments and the massage just feel terrific. I do have enough headroom above at 6 feet tall, and with the power tilt and telescoping of this steering wheel, there's a good posture for my hands to rest. Now, when it is time to move out of EV mode, when I go into Sport, as an example, this is great because it's actually going to put some charge back in the battery, and it's going to introduce that turbo inline 6-cylinder, and a great deal of performance with it, along with a little bit of noise. You get some thumps with each downshift, and you can hear that motor in the cabin somewhat because of the speakers enhancing the noise. But the transition is really smooth. When the gas engine came on or when it switches off, you really don't hear much or feel much. And the 9-speed automatic is smooth in the shifts. What isn't super smooth is the braking feel, especially slow stops, because there's a grabbiness to the first part of pedal pressure, and then there's a defined shift between regen, which there isn't a lot of that, and then friction braking. It's not very subtle. On the bright side, if you are sitting at a light for a while, you can press hard on the brake pedal and it will hold it for you. Another cool thing about Sport mode is that I can have the performance of Sport, but I can have it set for the suspension firmness of Comfort. So maintain that lovely ride with a bit of sporting flair. Hilariously, I just realized you can also go the other direction with the dampers, so I could be in Sport or Comfort and have the dampers set to Sport Plus. I guess this is the masochist button. Okay, well, we do need to find out how much sporting flair is in the E53 wagon. I'm gonna go into Sport Plus properly. Let's bring the dampers down to Comfort and give it a little shove. Well, it took a moment in the build-up. Wide open throttle doesn't just immediately conjure neck-breaking speed, but... oh, there it is. Then things open up a bit. It does get to moving. My back is squeezing into these very comfortable Nappa leather seats, and the G-force is complemented by a sound system enhanced noise profile. Much as the speakers and the inline 6 are trying, I'm just not getting the same enveloping acoustic profile as the old E63S's twin turbo V8s. Good heavens, yeah, the straight line speed is there. The sound isn't necessarily. Still a good time. Let's be clear. Now we need to convert all that subjectivity into objectivity with a real-world 0 to 60 test. I've got my race box set up here to record. There is launch control equipped with the AMG Dynamic Plus pack. Foot on the brake, pin the throttle, race start is active, letting go. No drama. just a lot of movement. 3.48 seconds to 60. This is one wickedly quick wagon. Wow. But does the all-wheel drive system let you play? Let's find out. Hard on the brakes here, dive in. A little bit. But man, that rear wheel steering system's incredible. So it doesn't really want to misbehave. It doesn't want to just hang the back end out there, but it does manage its 5,400 pounds of weight quite well, as I will further demonstrate. Hard on these brakes, good response from those, good stopping power, and the turn in with the rear wheel steering helping you tuck in is so impressive. A little bit understeer, but we can power through it. And send off into the sunset. You don't get heaping helpings of steering feel, but there's just enough to know that as you turn the rudder, here's what's happening with the platform. Not that anyone would really need coffee after all that excitement. I'm still gonna get some anyway, here at Moon Goat Coffee Roasters. And the parking lot is pretty full today, but there is a charging spot next to this Tesla Model Y, so let's do that. Back it on up, using my high-res camera system. Trajectory lines to help me find the center of the lane along with my rear view mirrors. Can scoot on back, parking sensors should chime in any moment. Any moment. There they go to tell me to stop. We found our space. Let's get coffee. And I can replenish the E53 while I'm in there. Delicious decaf coffee has been acquired. Yes, guys, it is possible. Now, before we get back to my AMG wagon, I had to visit a staple of this parking lot, an E53 Wagon. And I want to compare how this looks, which is just fantastic. A car that I don't think has a bad angle to it, to that AMG E53 over there. And here's the thing, guys. I don't think this car looks as good. Now, granted, there is probably still going to be a range-topping E63 model that will dial up the aggression, but I don't think that's going to solve some of the styling details, the directions that AMG is going. Like the fact that the headlights are now kind of merged with the grille, and the front end is a little more rounded now. I don't like this side garnish with the non-functional vents. The profile is still very sexy though, especially on those 21-inch polished wheels with the red painted brake calipers. You got the gentle taper of that wagon roofline. And at the back, well, we've got this red accented E53 badge, and then down low, we've got the quad chromed pipes that are just baked into the diffuser portion. And then that taillight bar, I guess, matches the style of the front with the grille melding in with the headlights. It all just looks too blended to me. There aren't these standout performance elements like I feel like the E63 had. But the real question is whether there's a place to put your coffee. And the answer is yes. Slide for the console, and we've got two cup holders, both with these little arms that come out to hold it securely in place. But is this car Mobile Mama approved?
Yes, I'm already saying yes.
Wait, but I haven't even started your massage yet. Oh! I shot a straw at you, but now
yes.
You get a massage. Oh, now it's
now
an emphatic yes.
I knew you were going to say that word. See? I know you so well.
She knows me so well. So true.
I just love the look of it. I kind of want one. I feel like it'd be a fun mom car.
It would be a very fun mom car.
Yeah.
An expensive mom car. This one is $113,000.
Oh, guess what? It's cheaper than the ones you've bought.
Well, hey,
I love you.
No, that's not true. This is slightly more expensive than the M2 CS and slightly more expensive than the Dodge Demon 170. It is less expensive than the CT5e Blackwing was, though. But they're for making content, so it's okay. Anyway, back to the AMG. Now, here's a question for you. You said yes, emphatically. You were all excited.
Yes.
But can you handle all the screens? So much screen.
I mean, it's a little much. Like if we were going on a family, like a road trip down to San Diego, this would be very pleasant.
That's fair. You could watch a video on that. Yeah,
this is a setup. The kids watch their thing because they get to watch while they travel. And, you know, we're all good.
I guess just curmudgeon-y old Miles is like, I want there to be a stylized piece of wood there and, you know, depth and dimensionality. And I guess you get some of that up here with the leather up top, and then it's like a chrome finish there, and then you get into the screens.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just grateful this isn't gloss black.
Oh, yeah.
You had to pay $150 for it to not be gloss black.
Oh, okay.
But
this is nice.
Yeah,
What
it
is
cool.
this?
I don't know. They call it a mixed material.
It's like a mixed
something.
metal thing.
Yeah.
Kind of. I don't know.
It's neat.
I like it. Who cares about the inside, right? I'm just kidding. Inner beauty is what's
I was just going to compliment you and say, oh, you're beautiful on the inside and outside,
Thank
babe.
you. It doesn't have heated and cooled cup holders.
It does not. No. I think that's something you could probably pay for.
Of course.
Like much of everything else.
Yeah.
I do like that they, gave a little bit of a knurled finish touch to all the different surfaces here.
Yeah.
Even the seat controls.
So why are you complaining?
I'm just good at it.
Okay, so I haven't seen a wagon like this in a long time. That's why I really like the look.
There aren't that many wagons sold in the
US. I shouldn't say
US.
in a long time.
Not in a
Just
long time.
around.
Yeah.
Who buys these?
People who like the practicality of an SUV,
Yeah.
but want the performance and low center of gravity of a wagon.
How much are we talking for performance?
604 horsepower.
Oh, I like that. I like
With
that
the
number.
dynamic package. As standard,
Yeah.
it's like 577. Just like
Okay.
so weak. 570. I'm joking. Yeah, it's like this, the Audi RS6 Avant.
Yeah.
Now Avant Performance. And the BMW M5 Touring. Those are your performance-y wagons.
Okay.
That's it. We just don't buy a lot of them here in the States, which is a shame.
Yeah. Buy the wagons.
A touch of performance, you say?
Yes, please.
Giddy up.
Ooh. I like it. I like the
bad,
way
right?
it sounds.
And that's all you're going to get because we're basically here at Urban
Yes.
Plates where we're going to go eat lunch. There she blows! Urban Plates.
Doesn't make me want to eat there. Oh, God.
I've never used that expression before in
Yeah,
a video,
for-
so
yeah.
I figured it was time.
Yikes.
Yum. Here we go. I've got my steak plate with mashed potatoes and Brussels and a little bit of extra steak. What did you get?
Chicken. I ate my Brussels. You're waiting for your food and potatoes.
You weren't patient for me? It's okay, you're cute. Bon appetit. Lunch was filling. Now we're back in the E53.
No, we're back, but in the back.
Back in the back.
There we go.
Back in the U.S., back in the, yeah, what do you think of the back seats? First off, the Nappa leather feels quite lovely on
It
the
is
skin.
nice. Does the seat recline back? Because it feels like...
It does not.
Ugh.
It does not recline back.
Whoa, what's happening?
At least the whole armrest upper and lower portion is in leather. Down
Yeah, that's
here moves
nice.
into injection molded, but that's still nice.
But the seats aren't heated
These
or
seats,
ventilated.
you have to pay extra money for that. You do get 2 sunroofs though.
With the shade, which is nice.
Plenty of light, yes.
Yeah.
No shades for these windows, which is
4-zone climate control.
3-zone. 3 zones, 4 zones is the right number. She said 4 and she's correct. There are 4 zones of climate. There are air vents in the pillars, so that's nice and up high and right here
Yeah,
in the
but
center.
the AC in here is not that strong.
It's not
Okay?
great.
You're
It's not great.
lowering it, it's just not that powerful.
We had it on max, and the
Yeah.
max was a min for other cars.
A mid.
It was mid, yes, if we wanted to
was
use the
mid.
colloquial term.
No, but it
was,
actually was
I
mid.
was trying
it
to do,
wasn't a minimum.
I was
it
trying
was
to,
a mid.
and now it's turned off. Now it's turned off. You do get USB-Cs down here. I just can't reach them, but they're
Yeah, I
there.
see 'em.
Yeah. No one would want to sit in the middle because the drive shaft hump is so large.
Yeah.
I'm going to try.
No.
My foot can't even get over there. I'm not going to do it.
I think if this was a little more forward, I would have
More like
more legroom. I feel a little tight right now.
Okay, but this is my seat at 6 feet, and my feet can't really fit under the seat very well, so I don't have great thigh support here. But I do have knee room, and I've got headroom. So I'm not going to complain too much, which we know I love to do.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Good luck.
Today, we're going to test that wagon practicality with a Costco run to benefit the charity Families Forward. Why is it 85 degrees at 10 a.m. in March? I have no idea, but I do know we've got a lot of donations to load in this sporty wagon. Will they fit? Before I get started, a couple things to address. One, I appreciate that the lift back comes up such that at 6 feet tall, I'm not whacking my noggin every time I need to access the trunk. Two, this cargo cover is great for covering up a few small items, but we've got a lot of them. So I'm gonna make this disappear. You can do that easily by pulling in on one side and then carefully extracting. A third thing to mention is that with this now being a plug-in hybrid, some of the components are under the floor, raising it up a little bit and cutting into your cargo height. But if you're taller, you may be happy about that because you don't have to lower things down so much to get them in. Well, judging by the dent I've already made in the goods and the sweat stains on my shirt, I'd say we're doing pretty darn well. Oh, and in case you're wondering, no, I didn't put the cargo cover back in. That's sitting off to the side of the car. That is a secondary screen for pets, I think. You do not need an SUV. Look at what this wagon has accomplished. And I mean, maybe a sedan could have gotten this part in, but it wouldn't have added the toilet paper on top. And I did put the cargo cover back this time because I just wanted to see whether this would fit. Whee! So after returning my cart like a responsible shopper, I can confirm the AMG E53 Wagon is Costco approved. Now that I'm on the highway to drop these things off at Families Forward, I want to listen to the cabin volume at these speeds. Okay, on the smooth tarmac, you don't really get much of wind noise, tire noise, or road noise. It's very quiet in here, but on that concrete slab, you do hear a fair amount of tire noise, and I do think the larger wheels are a contributing factor to that. All in all, I would happily commute in this car, and there are some driving assistance features to help. I've got adaptive cruise control and steering assistance. It's not full hands-free highway driving, but if I just wanted to demonstrate, taking my hands off the wheel for a moment, it will stay in the center of the lane, and I'm not having to work the throttle or brake to maintain the gap to the vehicle in front of me. Very useful if you've got a long, traffic-heavy commute every single day. And if I didn't want to just indulge my thoughts in the quiet cabin, I could listen to some music with the standard Burmester surround sound system and the wireless Apple CarPlay. So I'm gonna pull that up, and it is pretty quick responding, getting to what I'm looking for here. It takes over the whole screen with CarPlay as well. Find the song of choice, and there isn't a physical volume knob, which annoys me. I've got this slider here, which isn't very accurate, but you could also press in on one increment up or down there, or you could use the steering wheel, which is only a slider, it's not a press. Why not just use the volume knob? Come on. Okay, let's crank this up. About 60% there. There are higher fidelity sound systems, but to get access to those, you've got to pay a lot of money. This standard Burmester sound system is so very good. It's got the clarity in the highs and mids, it's got this nice hit of bass that comes in, very well rounded, and it's certainly blocked out all the outside noise. And while I was listening to the sound system, I got to experience the lane change assist, indicating one direction or the other, having the car change lanes for me. It's about time to add some fuel back in this 17.4 gallon tank, and the E53 Wagon is EPA rated at 22 combined MPGe, but if you factor in the 41-mile EV range, you're looking at 56 MPGe equivalent. During my time with the car, I've averaged 20.1 miles per gallon. And at current fuel prices of $5.89 here in SoCal for the required 91 octane gas, it's gonna cost me $102 to fill this tank, and there isn't capless fueling to save me any time. Well, crew, at the beginning of this video, I pondered what it would be like to live with the now plug-in hybrid AMG Wagon. And after quality time spent beyond the wheel, I'm convinced of two important things: the wagon's worth and the plug-in's versatility. Comfortable and quiet, the E53 is a relaxing way to commute or make your way around town. The gas-electric handoff is smooth, and the morning calm is assured. Costco runs are light work for this long roof, and there's ample in-cabin storage for loose items. The tech is dazzling, but mostly intuitive, apart from the absence of a volume knob or scroller. The air conditioning and exterior styling lack intensity, but the 0 to 60 does not. I'm thrilled that AMG continues to offer a performance wagon in the States, and if you're considering a performance SUV, think about this instead. I hope you guys have enjoyed this day in the life, and I will see you again next time.